Good morning, good day, and good evening. I'm, as always, your host, Brody Robertson, and today I think this is number, I want to say 4 of the post-AvCon interviews. So today we have the game director. Is that what you call yourself?
Technical director,
Okay.
co-founder and technical director.
Okay, everyone I
Is the one
talk to
you tell
has
me
some
is?
like various different iteration of the name, so I always like to
That's
confirm
exactly right.
specifically which one they use.
Yes, that's fair.
For a game or from a studio called the R&D department, and a game
Yeah,
currently working title named Cube. So
correct.
whilst I play the video here, introduce yourself and what the game is.
Sure. So, as Brody very sweetly said, my name is Rue. I am the technical director and co-founder of the R&D department, and we are making a minimalist puzzle game called Cube that's always bigger than you think it is.
Mhm.
It started off as a little student project that myself and the other co-founder Dan, Rupert and Dan, the R&D department.
Oh, that
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's a bit of a pun. We like to think of it like sort of aperture sciencey, like we're sort of backyard science, but also it's Rue and Dan.
Right.
It started off as a student project when we were working together at AIE, and originally it was just a thing. All of this has been very lucky from the outset in that we both rocked up late on the day that that teams are assigned, and my beautiful instructor Orion just said, "All right, you guys just go on this like leftover team. That's fine." And we made a game called Cube Daddy, which was the very bare bones kind of version of what ended up becoming Cube. And on that assessment, we deliberately made a game that would be like polished and like ready enough to take that could be selected to go to PAX with AIE, because AIE have a booth at PAX, and we really wanted to do that. So we made Cube Daddy small enough and tight enough and polished enough to be that, and luckily it was. And then on the Friday morning of PAX Day 1, 2024, about 2 hours in, we looked at each other after the booth had been packed nonstop from minute 1, and we were like, do we kind of have something here that kind of goaded with the source? Is it like it's always been something that like kind of just tickled us,
Right.
and so we wanted it to exist, and so now it exists. But especially early on, we didn't really stop and think about who would enjoy it, and we were like baffled to find that kids love it. It's very due to one of the constraints that was upon us in the original assignment. It was it needed to be it's like you needed to make a game to fit a brief, and the brief that we chose was the abstract brief, and part of that was no UI, and that the game needed to like you needed to find and figure out what you're supposed to do by playing it. And a lot of Cube is that. So yeah.
So for anyone just listening, what is the gameplay of this? Anyone, I've got the video playing here. So for anyone seeing this on YouTube, they'll see it. But I do have a bunch of Spotify listeners as well.
Yeah, no stress. So the gameplay of Cube is you are a cube and you roll around in abstract worlds, solving puzzles, and I don't want to say too much. It's I'll just say that the game is always bigger than you think it is.
Well, that would lead into something I want to talk about a bit later, unless you want to get into it now.
No, we can. I don't mind.
So, the game itself is very, very like it's very simple from the outset. You'll pick it up pretty easily as long as you understand how to move in a video game. Everything else from there, I feel, comes quite naturally. So
pretty much.
Basically, go on.
Oh, I was going to say, we actually at AvCon we had a dear grandma come who was supervising her kids who didn't know how to play games, and she finished the demo, which was very fun. just like we had to teach her what a thumbstick does, and she was able to beat it, which I found to be like a huge win.
Yeah, I'm just got to like 4 minutes in. I just got to the bit in the video where you are with another cube and you can like flip which one's on the top and the bottom. That's at least from the demo that was at AvCon, the only other kind of interaction you need to know.
Correct.
I don't know if that's going to expand later on. Judging by what you said, there's probably going to be more that happens.
There is.
Okay.
We're gonna, because we want to end up on mobile eventually as well. We want to keep the controls to movement and an interact.
Right.
So what that interact does will vary, but yes, that's the first example of something that you can press the button to do.
Yeah, so for anyone who didn't see that, basically what you do is you find another cube that's sitting around, and you can use this cube as sort of like a step to get to a higher position into the level.
Yeah, we call them carryables.
Okay.
And so it's a block that you can use to traverse too high, like a wall that is 2 blocks high, or we have plans in the future to, of course, use it as like a weighted thing to weigh down stuff. We've got lots of really exciting things in mind. I should say though that to make this a better auditory experience is that the unique mechanic is what we call cubing up, where throughout the world there are incomplete cubes that have an eighth of the cube missing on one of the corners, and if you roll into that spot, you become that bigger cube, and the level around you becomes suddenly more accessible because of your larger scale.
Yeah, I found that to be like a really, it's like a simple mechanic, but it's also a very neat mechanic. Like it's a way to expand upon the world in a way that's quite subtle, but intuitively makes sense once you've done it that first time. Like it's pretty, that like the first time it's introduced, it's pretty straightforward that that's the thing you need to do. And then once you've got that idea in your head, then that's like an idea that you carry forward. It's like, okay, if I see something like this, and are they color coded?
They are at the moment. We're thinking of keeping them that way. Something that I want to do for the full release is a sort of like Elden Ring Side of Grace, sort of like golden particle trail effect to make it even more clear.
Right.
But at the moment, it's all through color design.
So is that, you mentioned earlier the idea of like not having a UI, is that like something you want to continue down that path? Like this?
Yeah. We something that we've been using internally is that we're trying to make Monument Valley for kids. And so it's the UI free design is absolutely has quickly become like a core part of it, and we want to make it sort of like a minimalist experience.
Right. I think at least with what exists so far in the game, granted, I'm someone who's played games my entire life, so I maybe am not the best person to get like feedback on this side of it.
Yeah, no, please.
But everything kind of just made sense from what currently exists. I know, looking at the itch comments, at least when that comment was made, there were soft locks that did exist in the game. There are obviously bugs.
Correct. Yes,
I didn't run into any soft locks for me.
Yes,
but
that's because I fixed them instantly because I felt horrible.
Understandable.
We quite often what we did at PAX that was really successful that we replicated at AvCon is that we had 2 PCs set up. And what we like to do is use events like that as sort of a playtest, which is what they should be used for, I think. It's like get people to play the game, but also just like let's test out the thing and iterate on it as fast as possible.
Right.
Like, that is the point of the second
basically.
PC. Yeah, it's free QA, and we can use that second PC to make changes on the fly and test them in real time, which I love doing. It's kind of one of the best bits.
Okay.
And so there was a section, the second puzzle, the second carryable puzzle. There was quite a lot of friction. In a bad way. Friction. I like friction, but it was people were putting the controller down and walking away, which was too much friction. So I just like on the fly on day one, I think I added some crystals and a pressure plate to make it a bit clearer what we want you to do and where you want the player to go. And that little change immediately helped people just like know what to do next.
So you're going to use them as, I guess, a bunch of breadcrumbs, right? Like it's a trail of
exactly.
breadcrumbs.
Yeah, they're absolutely breadcrumbs. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I think the first thing that's like very striking about the game, even before you do any of the gameplay itself, it's the art design and like the music and the world design. Like I'm assuming either you or the other person is like very focused on the art side.
Yeah. So the wonderful Dan, he is a genius. I think it's a shame he's not here today, but he's a very busy guy. I strongly believe that Daniel De Cruz is a name that we will know about in game development within the next 10 years.
Very unbiased source.
Very unbiased, very unbiased. But Dan is like, if we talk about roles within the team, I make the cube role. So I'm in charge of mechanics and systems design, and implementation, and then Dan does technical art. So he does all the shaders, particularly the water. The water's been a big hit. People have been loving how the water looks, as well as the level design. He is a genius when it comes to that. It's just the cube wouldn't exist without Dan. Like going back quickly to that student project one more time. It originally, when we were pitching ideas to each other, Dan already had a prototype of Cube Daddy, which was very, very stripped down. In fact, I forget even if the incomplete cubes had a chunk taken out of them. They must have. But the movement was just like sliding around.
Right.
And you could like jump. There was a jump, which we've removed. And you could jump into these incomplete cubes, and then you became bigger. And I loved it. And I said, Dan, that's great. But what if the cube rolled? So that was my main addition to Cube Daddy.
No, it's a great addition. Like it's, I would assume that's probably gone through a bunch of iterations on the speed of it and how exactly it feels.
Yes. Well, we've kind of made this game twice now. In that we made that original game in 4 weeks, and I smashed out the mechanics in 2 weeks, so that Dan had something to make levels for. And 2 weeks is not enough time to make some good systems. So the original is complete spaghetti code garbage. And it's just horrendous. It's like an easy 10,000 line script that handled most of it, and it's just insane. But it was really good because it taught me all the things not to do for round 2, and now it's beautiful. Right. I'm so proud of the way that the cube rolls. It doesn't look like much, but there's actually like heaps going on behind the scenes to make the cube roll.
Right.
But yes, sorry, that's a massive sidetrack from
it's
the
totally fine.
art and visual style.
It's very much sort of within that sort of same vein though. Like the game wouldn't fit together without the animations, without the feel of the cube.
Yeah, exactly. We're big believers in like the thing that you do over and over again should feel as good as possible.
Right.
And so we've put a lot of effort into those sorts of player feedback things. So yes, Dan's the visual man. He wears many hats, as we all do in game development, but technical artist, level design. He's like, if I'm technical director, Dan's creative director, officially at the company, is how we distinguish our roles. Although there's a lot of crossover. Like a great example of that is the water. Dan did 90% of the work on the shader, but a bug that emerged that I did a little deep dive into on the devlog, if you want to join the Discord, cheeky plug.
I'll leave a link to it in the description. Is it on the link tree?
Yeah, it's all on the link tree.
Okay, it'll be in the description then, yeah.
Yeah. Is that the water shader, the way it works is it uses the camera's position, because, okay, taking a step back, reflections are hard.
Feel free to get as technical with this as you want to.
Reflections are hard and expensive computationally. So Dan, in his infinite genius, had a way of doing this, which is he has a second camera, which uses the camera's position but looks up instead of looking down.
Okay.
So it gets that angle from below, that looking up at the environment. And then what he does is he takes that camera view, he turns it into a texture, and then maps that onto the water. So it's doing reflections without any of the crazy, like, ray tracing, bouncing. It's just got another camera looking up. The problem with that's brilliant, but the problem is that camera sees stuff that's underwater. So if there's a block that's chilling underwater and the camera can see it, what it's going to do is project that visual of the block on top of the water, even though it's underneath. So I wrote some code that uses some crazy math to ignore stuff below a certain Y level. And so it essentially means that the camera can't see stuff below that. So that's a very classic example of Dan making something really cool and Rue just editing it a tiny bit.
I do think the reflections are really cool, though. Like, that is...
It's so beautiful. He's done so many... There's so many little things... In the way that there's little things in the cube rolling, there's so many little details to the water, in that there's so much stuff. You'll notice when a block is just sitting in the water, there's a big decal projector that does, like, I forget what he calls it, but the little wet layer just sitting above the waterline, there's like a dark strip.
Okay.
It's that attention to detail that just blows me away every time. Yeah, you wouldn't even notice it without me telling you, but it looks, and it moves with the water, and it's just
okay. Like, I think
it's nuts.
It's to the point where it's a lot of very, very, very subtle things, which if you list them out on paper, none of them really sound that important. But with everything brought together, it creates a really good looking experience. Like, we'll get to the more on the gameplay afterwards, but visually, this looks really good. Just like going back to the roll, like there's something. Is that is it a static speed the entire time, or does it speed up?
No.
I thought there was something about that.
It's so originally in the first version, the way that I did it, which was cooked, is that the acceleration. Actually, I have a cube on me, because of course I do. I have a cube on my keys. The acceleration was linear, so it got faster as it rolled.
Yep.
So originally it was a bit of a thump, 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 thump sort of thing. And it felt quite heavy. The way that I've done it now is, instead of having control over the acceleration of the cube, I now just have control over the speed, which is obviously much more tighter control over how the cube moves. And so what it is that it's just a classic ease in, ease out S sort of curve. And then the way I do it, not to peel back the curtain too far, but the way that I do it is if the player makes an input, they say, I want to go forwards. The system then calculates through a series of raycasts what is around them. So it figures out if there's blocks to the side, below, in front, up and down, and then uses all that logic to pick the best move. And that is generally like, is there a block in front? Okay, well, obviously I can't roll forwards.
Right.
Stuff like that. And then once we've found our move, there's an empty game object that I've called the pivot that I put at the place where the cube's going to pivot, and then I parent the cube to the pivot, and then I just rotate the pivot. And that rotation is controlled by a curve that is just a classic ease in, ease out S. And it's one of our core pillars is that we want it to look satisfying and edible as much as possible. So those, like, everything is a nice easy and ease out.
Did you say edible, or did I miss
edible?
Edible.
No, we want people to want to eat the cube.
More on that, please.
Well, it's just like, well, you know those like ASMR Instagram endless like
Yeah.
soap cutting videos. That's sort of what we're trying to tap into. That part of your lizard brain.
Mm-hmm.
We want it to be appeased by our humble cube.
Uh-huh. Okay. I, I
Yeah.
I see
Yeah.
what you're saying.
Yeah.
I've never heard anyone try to describe their game like that.
Yeah. Well, it's those things get crazy numbers, and it's not something that we again initially planned,
Mm-mm.
but has sort of come about because of like it's funny when we took it to PAX. What we thought people would get out of it was like um, the puzzles and the growing in size. That's what we thought people would find interesting. But one of the things that people found the most enjoyable was just crushing blocks.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, oh, that was just like a design fix because we like didn't know what to do with the smaller cubes once you got bigger. And so we're like, oh, you just delete them. That's easy. And so like we wanted diegetic reasons for what happens when you delete them. So we just added a little particle effect, and that was it.
I do like that the cube particles do interact with the terrain. There is that
yeah,
that is
yeah,
nice.
yeah. Yeah, Unity's got a lovely little system that just handles that for us.
Mhm.
But there were people that would not move on until they'd crushed every single cube possible. It just like completely blew us away, and so that sort of lesson really pushed us into the sort of satisfying ASMR angle that we've pushed with the second iteration of Cube, in that we want to make it as like ASMR satisfying as possible.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That actually makes a lot of sense. I hadn't thought of it like that, but
Yeah.
hearing you say that, I can definitely see what you're going for here. And
Yeah.
Another little thing I think of is like when you fall down a ledge that's more than one block, there's like the little bit of a squish.
I'm so glad you brought that up. That's one of my touches.
Let's see. Oh, here's a bit of the demo. Okay. Yeah, there we go.
That is the system that I've called dynamic splatting. So in the original version, what we did is we just played an animation and we like scaled it based on how big the drop was. We had a small, medium, and large splat based on how many blocks you fell. Easy. The problem with that I always hated was that if you fall off a ledge, generally there's going to be blocks on that side that you've fallen down on. And so what would happen is you would splat into that wall a little bit.
Oh, okay.
That. So what happens now is we have found this amazing Unity package called Lattice that allows you to, LATTICS, ISE, just Lattice.
Oh. Okay, yep.
I forget what it's called. No, not what it's called, who it's by. But it's like 25 American.
Harry Heath? Is that the one?
Yeah, Harry Heath Lattice, yeah. Could not recommend it enough. It's super handy. Harry Heath, if you are listening, I love you. You've saved us so much time and headache. What it does is it allows you to define a bounding box using this, like you can just be like a handle on each vertice of a square, or you can have lots of handles, so you can make like a complicated shape. And what you can do then is put a mesh in that, and then by moving the lattice, you deform the shape within it.
Okay.
And so what we're doing there is when you fall, similar to when we do a move, I check the context of the cube to see which sides are constrained. And then based on that, I try and conserve mass and like splat out in the directions that are unconstrained. So it doesn't go into the wall at all. Yeah.
Let's see if we can get
and it does the same thing when you pick up a carryable.
When you pick up a carryable, where's the...
You don't splat into, like, if you pick up a carryable next to a wall, you don't goop into the wall at all. You only goop into unconstrained sides.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's another little touch that you probably won't have noticed, but like, it always drove me crazy.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. No. That.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like you're. I guess it's kind of like you're always. You don't want the cube to clip into the wall. Like that's the simplest thing.
No. Yeah. Exactly. And
You want to feel like it's like an object in this world. It's not just the player character.
Yeah. Exactly. We want it to sort of conserve mass.
Mm-hmm.
So we want like, and it, like obviously that's just the first pass at it. We want to do more than like make it a bit more alive than that. But I was very, very happy with that. There's a thing. I work in a co-working space called Game Plus here in Adelaide, and we do fortnightly like meetings to show what we've been working on. And it just so happened that I had just finished that system when one of those happened, and I was like, guys, check this out. I'm so proud of this.
No, you definitely should be. Like, this is really, really cool. And again, it's one of those subtle things where it doesn't need to, like, it would look good if it just did it and it slightly
and people love the animation. Yeah, but it drove me crazy.
Again, it's one of those, like, I think back on a game like one of the most polished indie games I've ever played was Celeste. And
oh, dude, Celeste and Hollow Knight are my number 1 and 2 all time.
Yep. But Celeste has so many very little things about how it feels, how when you dash, like it feels like a game where they put so much effort into how the player character feels, and it shows by the fact that there is like some just psycho speedrunning community that makes custom maps that aren't human playable, that you need to, like, they can only be done with a Taz because they're so insanely difficult, but everything in the game is so precise and so perfectly polished that it all just works.
Yeah. Celeste is it's a masterpiece. I was doing the classic like doom scroll through the Steam library the other day, and I was like, oh, it's been a while since I played Celeste. Let's boot that up. And just the first like world it's just so good. We want to do, you mentioned earlier the music. The music comes from a beautiful composer called Chris Norton, who's an Adelaide guy as well. Who I'll send you a link to that you can put in the description. He's an American dude who makes music. He's a jazz musician as well as a game composer, and he's a close personal friend of Dan and mine through the Adelaide scene. We've done some, I say we, Dan's done some work with them on their game called Beach Bums.
Okay, yeah, that was at Avcon last year.
Yeah, the Beach Bums guys. Chris and his lovely wife Jazz work on that. So, gosh, a while ago now, Chris out of the blue sends us a demo of sound effects and music for an older version, for the original version of Cube, and we were like, Chris, that's amazing. When we have money, we'll pay you to do this properly. And so what we ended up doing pre-Avcon is we've been doing some client work, so we've got a little bit of money. And so we said to Chris, look, Chris, we don't have enough money to pay you to make the whole sound effects yet. In fact, the game's not ready for you to do the whole music and sound effects yet. Sure. But we want to get the ball rolling. How about you implement what you've already done into this build so that we have something to give a vibe of what we want it to be like eventually. And so all the music and sound effects at the moment are from Chris. They are, like, the music in particular I adore. We want to do, this is what led me to this point, we want to do like dynamic layering to the music in the way that Celeste does and lots of games do. So that builds and grows as you do.
Right.
So like at the start, it's going to be like really quiet and sparse. And then when you cube up for the first time, like another instrument joins in.
Yep.
And it's like a continuing song that builds and builds and builds for each world.
If anyone wants a really good example of this, I believe is it Pokemon Black and White? I don't. It might be Black and White, where when you run, there's like there's the basic music, and then when you run, the drum track joins in.
The drum kicks in. Yeah. That's insane.
It's really cool. It's again, it's one of the subtle things you don't notice until you notice it. It's like now I can't unhear it.
Absolutely. And like that stuff from an implementation level is super easy to do. You just start everything at the same time and then have the volume 0 on other tracks, and then you just bring it up. But yeah, I'm super excited to do dynamic music layering. I'm really what you've today. What I've been working on is a pitch to Screen Australia. For I'm sure you're aware there's their game production fund where they give up to $100,000 for game projects. So we're currently putting together an application for this current round of funding, and I've completely forgotten where I'm going with this.
You're talking about music, that's funding.
Yeah, that's another one of the reasons why we wanted Chris to do this. Is we wanted Screen Australia to get a sense of what it would look like with sound and music, with music and sound effects.
Right.
But yes. And like if and when we get money, I'm so excited to build the levels properly and then get Chris to score and make some new, because like the current sound effects don't quite feel right to us internally, like because they were made for a previous version of Cube. They're a bit too, the Cube feels very wooden, which is what it looked like in that first version, whereas now it's very jelly like. So we want to like completely redo all the sound effects. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm peeling away all the layers now. You're not going to be able to play
it. The sound of breaking the cubes doesn't feel off, but definitely
it's okay, yeah.
But the movement, it feels like
you'll see what I mean.
Yeah. Well, I've talked to a number of other people about this. That's one of the things that's really hard to get any feedback on at a con, like music and sound effects.
Sound, terrible. Yeah,
like,
totally.
Unless you give people like noise cancelling headphones, and even then, they've got to be some pretty wild headphones to block stuff out.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why we didn't have sound in the original version, because we were building it for PAX. Why bother?
Sure.
We're in a super loud and noisy environment. No one's going to hear it anyway. Let's spend the time making the game good. And actually, that's what we did for Sage as well.
You were Sage as well. Okay.
Yeah. We won a little award.
That's cool.
Yeah, we won the Elevate Award for Creativity and Innovation. Awesome. It's very nice. It's hopefully gonna add some credibility to our application.
Hopefully, yeah. Knowing this,
promise was real.
Knowing there's like, because Sage is, I think Sage is just supported by Screen Australia as well.
Maybe it's definitely South Australian Film Corp.
Yeah.
But it may have.
Either way, it's got like government backing.
Yeah. It's a government body, which is it's nice to hear that it's very nice to have gotten some recognition for it at all.
South Australian stream.
But yeah, and Sage was huge for us as well, because we started the ground up rebuild kind of day after graduation in December. Actually the day
Australia is on here as well. Okay.
Oh, okay, great. Because we started the ground up rebuild not the day after because I was hungover, but the day after that. And Sage is in February, so we also were like, we wanted to show it at Sage. And the original plan was to show the new version at Sage, but there just wasn't time. Right. So we just like polished up the PAX build a bit. And yeah, it was crazy because that's what I was saying. It was like super early. It was February, and we were like, we were pretty excited about it, but we were like not 100% committed to it just yet, because we were still like, Dan and I were both looking for jobs in game dev at large. And then we got the Sage Award, and we were like, okay, let's commit. This is clearly a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I'm sure it's a nice feeling to get some level of recognition for what the project is.
It was insane.
How long's it been a project for at this point?
So when people ask that, I like to say 6 months with 6 month hindsight. Because of that original student project phase, and then we started it properly December last year.
Oh, okay. Wait, this is like really new then.
Yeah. We've been working on it 6 months. This project version of the project. Yeah.
Okay, that actually makes sense. Why the demo is so short, but it's
it's tiny.
So the focus initially wasn't on building out the game; it was getting something that works and something that is good, and then expand from there.
Pretty much. And then there's also a system that's been eating up a lot of my time that I've made called Blockout, which is a custom level development pipeline. Because originally the level design pipeline was horrendous. What we had to do is like click an asset, duplicate it, make sure the snapping scale was correct, move it to position.
Yeah.
Horrendous. What I've done is I've created a custom Unity window that allows us to like turn on Blockout. I want it to like have random rotation, random mesh, random material, and then you just click where you want it to be, and it's there. And so that sped up our level design pipeline on like 10x at least. So that's one of the things that I was working on in these past 6 months. I started that very quickly after, because I knew just like we couldn't make a full game with the current pipeline. It's just impossible. So
you'd be spending like 3 years just building levels.
Oh god, horrendous. Yeah. So I'm very, very, very happy with Blockout, and you can like there's like a deletion mode where I can like click on blocks to delete them, and then there's also a parenting mode where like if you click on a block, it like sets that to be the default parent, and then any other blocks that you place get parented to that cube. So you can like make groups of cubes really easily. And so now whenever I add like a new mechanic, I just add that to Blockout as well, so Dan can just instantly place stuff in the level and not have to worry about whether it's on grid or not. It just if it's placed during using Blockout, it's always on grid.
That makes things much easier, I'm sure.
So much easier. Yeah. Well, that's something I should have mentioned with the last one, is that even when we did all that rigmarole of duplicate object, set snapping scale, move it to position, are we happy? That wouldn't guarantee that it's like on grid. It could still, like, if everything before that was off grid, all that work is not usable.
Yeah.
So what I've done is kind of arbitrarily define what on grid is and isn't through a series of like master positions of each scale cube, and then everything in the world is placed relative to those master cubes.
Right. So yeah, having this clear grid system, it's you really do need to make sure things align up. Like, I'm sure initially you're probably dealing with bugs because things were like a pixel off where they should have been, and you were clipping into a wall.
You're probably aware, but there's a thing in computer science called a floating point error, where computers just like they just don't do decimal points properly, and just like things would be like 0.0001, and like, no, just be where I want you to be, please. It matters for this game. Like things need to be exact, and like, yeah, that was one of the flaws in the initial movement system, is that it wasn't exactly perfect, whereas now it is exact.
Yeah, even though I'm doing this, I actually do have a software engineering degree. I did 4 years at Uni SA.
Yeah, sweet.
Very much using my degree. It's very, very productive.
It's in industry.
Yeah, for sure.
In industry, I know how to get on Stack Overflow or ChatGPT now.
Yeah, luckily I finished I finished a bit before then. I graduated the year after COVID, so I managed to skip all the AI stuff, which is
you lucky thing. Dan and I both teach at AIE now, and these poor kids, they're just, I'm not going to swear, but they're not. They're in a difficult spot learning wise, because like I recommend that they use generative AI models, but I recommend that they use them properly, which is to teach you, rather than just like, here's my problem, fix it. They've each got like what could be an even smarter me in their computer that they can just ask questions to. It's I don't know. A lot of them use it wrong, and it pisses me off because they just ask it to give them the answer, and they don't learn. Kids these days.
I do have some friends at AA. I've never bothered to ask them. What?
Oh yeah.
Does AA have like a policy around AI use?
It's evolving as a lot of education people are at the moment. It probably depends what course you're in. If you're in the bachelor, they're probably much more strict with it.
Sure.
I'm lucky to not teach the bachelor. I just do a certificate course. So things are pretty chill. Generally, for like written work where it's your like we need to show your writing ability, it matters. Like please don't use AI for stuff like that. Yeah. But for code, it's a tool. Like if I asked you to do a series of maths problems, I wouldn't expect you not to use a calculator.
Sure.
It's just about being able to use a calculator. Is the metaphor that I've been using to try and explain it. Like it's when the calculator came out and everyone started getting a calculator, maths got harder.
Right.
Like the bar lifted for what people can do, and I think generative AI will do that again for education across the board. It's just a question of keeping those fundamental skill sets without losing them, because it's so easy. Like even myself, like whenever I have to write anything these days, I'm like, oh, really? Do I have to?
Yeah, I think I might have uploaded today actually. There was a with the curl project, like tool. It's been around since the 90s. Downloading web stuff. I'm sure you've used it before.
What was the name? Sorry.
Curl.
I don't think I know that one.
Okay. Either way, very, very, very important tool for doing for downloading web stuff. It's like a lot of applications are like wrappers around curl. It's often used as a dependency. But the developer of that, he has a bug bounty open for like security issues with it, and he decided to make a policy where if you use generative AI for making your security report, he's just going to publish it in the cases where it is not a real issue. And there's a lot of cases where, well, there was one of the ones I saw where someone said, oh, if your log gets too long, it can cause a DDoS because the system runs out of storage. Like,
oh no,
you're not technically wrong that it breaks the application, but at the same time, any application that writes data, if it fills up your drive, it's going to stop working. It also has the ability to like save web content to a file, and someone reported an issue. There's like, oh, this can arbitrarily overwrite files. Like, yes, but also so can any software that writes to your file system.
Yeah.
And
it's a crazy new world we're living in.
Yeah. I do think you're right there that it absolutely can be used as a tool, but a lot of people are using it as a replacement to think.
Yeah. Which is not the way to do it.
No.
It's so valuable when you use it properly though, because then if you understand the system architecture, you can like know where to go next. Whereas if you use it to build those walls, you have no idea what to do next.
Right.
Is the problem that I run into with my students a lot. They'll get it to build like a prototype of the game they want to make, and then they have no idea how to improve it or fix it because they didn't write it or understand. Right.
Yeah, I think back on these kind of popular Reddit threads that pop up where someone's like, oh, I vibe coded this web application,
vibe coding,
payment processor, user, whatever. And then like the next day it's like, how much does it cost to hire an engineer?
It's a pipeline, man.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. But yes. Cube,
yes.
We're very excited about it. We have lots in store, lots planned. How much do I want to give away? We're very keen on doing like classic Suika game, not Suika game. That's the wrong game entirely. Sokoban,
Mhm.
the other Japanese like Sokoban stuff. So like pushable blocks. That's one of the next major mechanics we're going to work on. And then another little teaser. We're very keen on doing like different surface types. So at the moment, everything's made out of the standard surface, but we want to do like slippery surfaces, fragile surfaces, and sticky surfaces. So like both environment and player. So like what happens when the player's slippery, like an ice cube, and they can like slide off the level and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You mentioned a while back, like jumping, and how that used to be a thing. I don't know if you'd want to explore this, but you could also do the opposite of the sticky surface and have a bouncy surface.
Yeah. The thing that we've thought of for jumping is like a little like a pressure plate that yeets you when you step on it.
Yeah.
Like a little bounce pad. Yeah. But yeah, the lack of it's very funny watching people play it for the first time, and a lot of people, particularly gamers, like hit some buttons expecting a jump. Like, oh, there's no jump.
Right, it's one of those things which kind of is just there in a lot of games, but
in a lot
of cases
exactly.
it doesn't serve a functional purpose.
Correct.
And I guess the idea here is you want to... Well, it's already very clear from what you already have, where you want everything to be very intentional. You want everything there to... You want it to be very simple, but everything there to have a reason.
Yes, exactly. It's very... So far, the game is very structured and linear and like purposeful. A mate of mine was playing it, and there's a section... It's like the second... It's the section with the different colored crystals. So there's like a little section of 3 green crystals and then red crystals. It'll be like 3 minutes in-ish, I reckon.
Yep.
You like have to fall down to get to the red crystals. And he was like, if this was any other game, I'd assume that was a mistake. But I know because of the trust he'd built up that is the intended route.
Right. Yeah, there is...
And which I found fascinating.
There's a couple of sections like that where it looks like around 5 minutes and 50 seconds in, where you have the cubes where you can swap who's on the top and bottom.
Yeah, the carry ball.
Yeah, and then you fall off this ledge where it looks like you're going to be stuck there, and then a bridge opens up as you go across that.
Yeah, exactly. That's that section that had lots of friction on day one of AvCon, because it didn't have those crystals there initially. It just had, and so players thought when they dropped down there they'd be stuck, and so they were afraid to go down there. But because there was a crystal down there on the second day, they felt safe enough to do that. It was fascinating.
That is a good point. Like I'm the kind of person where, and I'm sure you've run into people like this, where I want to do everything in a section before I move on to it. And I'm sure you have people that are like, I want to break all of the... As you're saying, well, I want to break all of the things before I go on.
Yep. Yeah. I'm very similar when I play games. I don't want to have to go back. I try to clear everything out and then move forward.
Which creates problems for me in RPGs where I'm like, I'm going to do every side quest I can possibly do before I go with the story.
I was talking with, I don't know if you talked, I think you've done an interview with Ewan, with the Hellbite guys.
Yeah, last year.
They're great mates of mine, and he's playing Skyrim at the moment, and he was raving to me the other day about how Skyrim's design is so brilliant in that, like, you know where the main way is always, and where the, like, extra side thing is, just intuitively. It's, I can't attest to that to myself, but he was going nuts about it.
Well, it does that with like having it has like a UI has a marker on there, so it's always clear.
That's true too.
Yeah,
you're so right. He hadn't mentioned that.
That is kind of important.
Yeah, it is a little bit important.
Well, I think when you look at a game like Elden Ring, it does it in a fairly good way, where you come out of the first area and the place you're looking at is like a very clear landmark. Or you want to talk about like Breath of the Wild, like there's a very clear landmark that is grabbing your attention. So even if you go do something else, you know, eventually that's the place I need to get to.
Yeah, something that we haven't done that I really want to do is like data of player behavior. So like tracking how long players end in sections, how they move, and a really cool way to do that, which is something that Breath of the Wild did, which is they did heat maps for player locations. So what they did is they had a massive playtest early on where they tracked the first 2 or 3 hours of player behavior, and it's just amazing watching like everyone's going nuts in the Great Plateau, and then the disbursement of where people go, and it's like veins going away from a heart, and they like very clearly like get people onto these like defined routes where there's like things to see, and it's just genius. Like it helps having like roads and stuff, but still it's amazing that it isn't just complete chaos in where they go. It's very defined rivers that they follow.
Right, like you're going to put those things into the game, and then you assume probably people are going to follow them, but without having actual data on there, you don't really know what is and is not a landmark people are actually going to pay attention to. Exactly.
I'm very excited to do some sort of player data. There's just so many things. The next big thing for me, I'm going to Gamescom next month, but once I get back from that, is saving. Saving's the next big challenge.
Right.
Because
the game's short right now, but eventually, you know, that's probably going to be important.
A bit long. Yeah. And like for us, it's at the moment there's a little like what's it called? Debug mode, where if you press E, you go to like the next available like progression collider.
Right.
So you can just like skip through the level quickly. But even that is a bit slow and tedious. If we want to test a section like halfway through the level, you have to like play through the game to get there. Something that we like I was saying is the next important thing is being able to just like load into any section.
Right. And if you have that, then I guess if you wanted to later on, you could implement some sort of like chapter select at some point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That comes at the end once we've got a game. But yeah, we're thinking of doing it very Celeste-like, actually, in having like, because I believe in Celeste you can load in at various like bits. I think
that sounds right.
There's like because there's like worlds, and then within those there's bits that you can load into. So it's not like every spot, but there's lots of them. So we're going to do something very similar. And I'd love to do like a different art style for the like level select in the way that Celeste does as well. That's so brilliant. I love it so much.
I was gonna say, with the opening of the game, I would have to assume it wouldn't just be here's like a list, right? Like that.
Yeah,
doesn't align with anything else that's been done here.
Yeah. It's been fun as well hearing all the games that people think it's like.
Sure. Yeah.
Like the one we get most frequently is, oh, this reminds me of that old Cool Mats game, Bloxorz.
Yes.
No one says the name of the game, which I find hilarious. It's all like, oh, that Cool Mats game where you roll around.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's funny. I now that I've brought that up, I'm going to segue from it. There's a content creator called Papa Pup that you probably have seen but not noticed, or not noticed, but not remembered the name. He does like cube puzzle games. That's his niche. So he's got some clips of him playing Bloxorz that have done big numbers. And the other day I went into his Discord and just said hi. And the other day he's posted 2 clips on his Instagram now of him playing cube, which is nuts.
That's cool.
So that's been a big moment for us. And so the 2 on Instagram and then 1 on TikTok, I think, that has 270k views. Holy fuck! It's a bit nuts. So yeah, this is Dan and my's first game. So this is all like the marketing stuff is a whole new world to us. We're very much just like, we just want to make the game. And occasionally I post. I like to. I make an effort to post on the Discord, but it's hard.
Obviously, marketing is hard, but I think having something like when you have something that really does stand out and doesn't just it's not just another indie game that exists. I think there is sort of a like people will naturally spread that, right? Like it's not going to be everything. There are some games that are amazing that nobody knows about, but games that are truly like really, really good, word of mouth will eventually get to them.
I think so. It's been one of the benefits of Cube is its uniqueness, and it's not like, hi, we're making this RPG with narrative and combat stuff, and
right.
There's a million of those, and like there's lots of puzzle games as well. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, we're very happy with the game as a whole, and it's we just hope we get money to make the rest of it.
Right.
Or like, where our current strategy is, it's coming out no matter what, Q4 next year.
Okay.
The size of that game will depend on how much money we get to make it, pretty much.
Right.
Due to its the like structure of it, it's very easy to add stuff on and take stuff away. And say we don't get funding, we'll just do early access. But if we do get Screen Australia and stuff like that, we'll do like full release, and then depending on how that goes, then we'll do more on it. Because there's like, it's something that I tell my students a lot, and is to like make a small good game instead of a big bad game.
Right.
And we've been in the planning stage this last week to get ready for Screen Oz, and it's so easy to be like, oh, but this would be so good. I want to do all this cool stuff.
Yeah. What if I build this big world and these cool like enemies and all this stuff, and then it's like the movement doesn't feel good, the combat doesn't feel good.
Exactly. We want it to be like really polished, because like we're competing with Balatro, man. Like every game now competes with Balatro, and it needs to like.
Right, like if you're building a roguelike game, you're competing with like Dead Cells and Hades.
Yeah.
It's like how do you stand out in that market?
Exactly. It has to be in some way better than those games, which is such a hard thing to do. And the way to do it is you go smaller and more niche, and like a specific thing that you can do really well.
It's not really the right word, because it's usually used in like a different context, but it's basically like what you've built is it's basically a vertical slice, right? It is the opening of the game. That's how we. But it's like
that's how that's what we talk about.
I only say like I only avoid using that term because you do have vertical slice used in a way where it can be like we're creating a thing that's like misrepresentative of the game. Like there's so many cases of that.
Yeah.
But it's that same sort of idea. It's that polish of, here is just a small section of the game. This is what we want to do, and we'll build out from there.
That's exactly it. That's the milestone that we just hit at AvCon was we wanted we didn't have an exact number of minutes of gameplay, but we want something that represents what we want to make as a whole. And due to the nature of the game, there's for like combat RPG stuff, you can plonk them into the middle of the game, and that's why like vertical slice I think partially comes from like it's not just like the start, but it's generally like the middle bit, like a section from the middle. But due to the nature of Cube, we've decided to make the start, and we just so excited to make the rest of it.
So you talked about different people having different ideas for what the inspiration is. From your perspective, like what actually is the inspiration that I'm sure Dan had different things that would be an inspiration as well. But for you, like what do you find the inspiration to be?
That's a great question.
It can even
Um,
be like whenever I ask this, I like to hear the ones that are
yes,
like obvious inspirations, but usually
yes.
people have some
Well,
like off the wall thing where it's like, here's this random niche little thing that's part of it, which is also the inspiration.
it for me. It is a lot the cool maths game, Bloxers. I am a big cool maths game kid. I love cool maths games. It's the rolling is largely inspired by Bloxers.
Mhm.
Um, Something that I've noticed more recently is that the structure is very Celeste.
Mm.
Like it's kind of a linear experience that it's sort of a one, like some people will only play it once, but we're going to do stuff that encourages a second playthrough.
Okay.
Um, the other Dan Dan's big inspiration is Fez. He really likes Fez.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I could definitely
And
see that
Tunic.
from the camera movements. Like
Yeah,
it's yeah.
yeah. Fez and Tunic are the big inspirations.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Thankfully, because I'm technical director, I live a very privileged life in that Dan says, "Wouldn't this be cool?" And I say, "Cool, I'll go make that."
Mm-hmm.
So luckily, I don't have to think big picture as Dan does. But yeah, Katamari Damacy is another one we get a lot. Um, I recently played. This is not at all an answer to your question, but I played Cocoon for the
Mm.
first time the other day, and holy moly, there's a lot of what we doing in Cube that is also happening in Cocoon that we didn't realize at all. Like, I don't know if you play Cocoon. Um, it's so good. It won. I'm pretty sure it won Indie Game of the Year, not last year, but the year before. I think it's so good.
I feel like someone sent me a link to this and was like, hey, play this on stream, but I don't think I've played it.
It's I could not recommend it enough. There's a section in that where you can carry a thing that sh- makes a previously invisible path visible,
Mm.
and we've had that planned. That's one of the things that's in the original
Mm-hmm.
cube that we want to do. Like so like we want to do those carryable blue blocks where you swap
Mm-hmm.
positions. We want to do versions of those that do stuff as well as being picked up. So like one that's a light that allows you to see in the dark, or
Right.
one that has like what Dan calls a lens of truth that allows you to see invisible blocks. So it'd be very difficult to navigate the path without it, but you could. But like
Yep.
you use it to do that, or I don't know. There's like heaps of stuff that we want to do with those.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, for me, yeah, the main inspo has been Bloxers. Oh, actually, there's another one.
Okay.
This is the niche answer.
Okay.
So when I was a kid, me and my mate Henry really liked this game called An Untitled Story.
Wait, that's a
Now it turns out that An Untitled Story is one of Maddie's first games.
Mm-hmm.
It was they had a different name at the time, but Maddie made An Untitled Story years and years and years ago. And in An Untitled Story, there are these cool Sokoban puzzles where you have to move blocks around to cover X spots. It's a fantastic little Metroidvania that I highly recommend. But it was just such a crazy moment for me after I'd played Celeste and was just completely wowed by it. I went and like had a look at their other stuff and like could not believe it that An Untitled Story was sitting there, this game that I'd played as a kid and just loved, and then I'd come back all these years later to find out they'd made like it, because An Untitled Story is very similar to Celeste. It's slide-on,
I'm looking at it
screen-based
right
2D
now, and
platformer.
I can.
Yeah,
It looks like Celeste as a Flash game.
yeah, that's pretty much what it is. It's so weird. You start off as an egg and then you hatch, and but it's got narrative stuff like Celeste does. It's got these weird characters that exist, and it's just, I have such fond memories of that game. But yes, The niche answer is the Sokoban games in an Untitled Story.
Wait, I got to one of the shots, and I think this is literally a shot that was remade in Celeste.
Oh yeah.
At let me see. Current video time 16:38 in that video.
16:38.
It should be the timestamp. Already working.
Oh yep.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure this is literally in Celeste.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Like in Summit, there's some bits of Summit that would look like that.
Yeah, and you gotta jump under there to get to the thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure she made like the screens in Paint and just like exported them out and then gave them collision, and that's just it. Yep. And that's all you need. It's brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to talk to Maddie. That's one of my big goals, is to somehow get in a room with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Celeste
is goated.
Celeste is very good. I do love Celeste. And it is sad to hear what happened with the next project that's going to happen.
Don't get me started.
Yeah.
It's so sad. Like shit happens.
Sure.
Like it's people like that's one of the issues with games taking too long, is that you're different people. You're a different person to when the game started.
Yeah.
And like, it's so sad to hear that project has died.
Yeah. You have different creative directions you want to take it, and
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's. I'm sure that look, the people involved in Celeste are not going to stop making games. There's going to be more games inspired by that direction. So
I completely agree. Yes, I was very much looking forward to that. It's very sad that has died. I'm very interested to see the game. I forget their name, but the guy that split away from the original 3, he's got a game that he's working on, I'm pretty sure. There's like a 2D horror thing.
Okay.
That looks sick. But yes. Tragedy.
Mm-hmm. So it
looks so rad. Sorry, yes.
No, it's so good. So you talked a number of times about like ideas that you have for like, hey, here's like different mechanics we can introduce, all of this stuff.
Yes.
What I don't know. It's sort of dependent on like funding, right? Like, what do you want to make the scope for? Like, how big do you want to make the game? Assuming let's just assume you get no funding and you've got to go like early access and go down that route. What is the like minimum? What is the MVP for the game?
The MVP is, we haven't fully scoped out a non-funding MVP. The version that we scoped out was assuming we get Screen Australia money.
Mm-hmm.
But just off the cuff, because I don't know how much I want to say, but the idea is that the game is always bigger than you think it is.
Sure.
And so we want to do a few times where you become the landmass that you're on.
Mm-hmm.
So if you played the original demo, the demo ends with you becoming the planet.
Mm-hmm.
And what we were going to do that we ran out of time in those tiny 4 weeks is that you then roll around in space and then get sucked up by a black hole. So what we want to do is, you know how the vertical slice takes place on like a water plane? We want it to be so that you like do some sort of a puzzle that'll hopefully, best case scenario, is a like what I'm calling non-cube puzzle, which is where you become like a rectangular prism and you roll around like that.
Mm-hmm.
So a puzzle related to that, which allows you to complete the landmass that you're on. And then what I want to do is a big pull out and a fade to white. And then we fade back in, and the water cube that previously has been enormous shrinks down and down and down back to the size of an original scale 1.
Uh-huh.
And so we do like a scale reset and realize this thing that you thought was massive is actually tiny. And then now the plane that you're walking around on is like made out of sand, for example. So it's
Okay.
always bigger than you think it is. And so we want to do that a few times, and that'll be our like level, our world breakup. So there'll be like a water world, a sand world, a goop world, and a fog world. Those are the current ideas. And then best case scenario, we get money. We want, after the fog world, we want to have a like mountain world where there's like, it's very Journey. If you play Journey, where there's like a big mountain off in the distance with a big bright light at the top. And you want to get to the bright light. And the way that you do that is you scale this mountain, again, like Celeste, where you need to shed your layers to get up to the top. So we'll have pressure plates that like decube you, or cube down. I think cube down's the nomenclature we use. And so we get to the top. You've gotten smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, and at the top there's just like the lights coming out of this little like 1x1 hole that you fall in, and then you fall down, you fall into the heart of the mountain, and there's a little hole in there that you fill, and then you become the whole planet. So it's always bigger than you think it is. And then you roll around in space, and you notice that the star, like the sun in that galaxy, has like a chunk eighth missing from it, and you complete the star, and then you become the star, and you can roll around as the star, and then we go into the black hole, which I think I want the black hole to be a cube black hole. I think would be very funny.
Sure.
And then there's a few ways that we can go from there. Something that I've been playing around with is like you like hold the interact button or mash the interact button to like absorb the universe. So you like get bigger and bigger and bigger and like absorb everything. And then we'd like zoom out from that, and we go into this like subatomic world where everything is white and rainbow and like weird, and we want to do some like temporal cube mechanics in there. And yeah, that's a little, I won't go too much more, but we want it to be like, it's always bigger than you think, is something that we want to explore as much as possible.
This is all really cool. That's all I can say. This is all really, really cool, and we
have some big ideas.
It's very clear that like, yeah, as you say, you got some big ideas. It's very clear that you're very passionate about this game. This is something where I can tell just from what exists so far that this is something that you really care about. This is something that you really, really believe in.
It's been, I completely agree. I care about Cube kind of secondary to my new partnership with Dan. It's been, I cannot stress how genius he is. And he's also just the nicest guy, which is so annoying. It's so annoying because he's got so much going on in his life. He's got 2 kids and he's just always busy, but he's just the sweetest man. And it's so annoying. We've got this great relationship that started at AIE because we both did the design course together, and pretty early on we like kind of real recognizes real. There's someone else in this class that challenges me, sort of thing. And our instructor, who's a dear friend, Reese, noticed that I like am very competitive, and he did this thing where at the end of each module he would rank the best project, which just drove me nuts because every single project was Dan Rue. So it pushed me really hard to try and beat him. So we had this really fun rivalry going, and then we got into second year, and the first couple modules were a bit dull, but eventually we got into production for clients, and we're like, all right, finally we get to work together. And then Cube happened. So it's there's a tendency for indie games to get stuck on game 1 And we're really excited about Cube, don't get me wrong, but we want to stick around.
Right. You don't want this to be like a 5-year project that never gets released.
Look, yeah, absolutely not. Like I said, it's coming out Q4 next year, come hell or high water. I would love to work on it more than just next year. Like, if it sells well, then we'll do Hollow Knight post-release stuff.
Sure.
But yeah, it's a joy working with him.
Mm-hmm. So
particularly because he has such good ideas, and I can just go make them.
That always does help. It really helps when, just knowing what you want to do with it, right? It's not just, hey, we have a game. Oh, what do you want to make? Oh, I want to make a puzzle game. It's like, okay, what do you want to do with it? It's like,
that's so broad.
You've probably got a bunch of ideas that are like, okay, yes, we could do this, but also, as you said, you want to release the game. So it's a matter of how much do we want to put in the game? Where do we want to stop? What do we want to do in a further game or further content or something like that?
Yeah, exactly. And like, we've joked around with the idea of like, we'll do a sequel called Cubed, which is like local co-op, which I would love to do. I want to do that so bad. I think that'd be really fun. But like, yeah, Dan loves card games as well, so we might do like a card game for game 2. We'll see. But yeah, our eyesight is to the horizon, not just a cube. But like, yeah, we're super keen to make Cube.
So you've talked about how the... Oh, sorry, were you going to say something there?
No, that's it. Go.
Okay. You've talked about how you've always had a lot of people at the demo when you go to cons, whether it be AvCon, say.
Yes.
You haven't been there yet, but I assume for the next con, there's going to be people there as well. If every other con you've been to, there's been a big crowd of people there, assuming they're not like everyone there suddenly has a whole different taste in video games. I assume the same thing's going to happen there as well.
That would be so terrible if it's just suddenly a bomb at cons. But no. Hopefully it does well.
So, what has the feedback been like? Like how? What have people said about the game that you expected them to say? What were things that you heard that just sort of threw you for a loop? It's like, why? I didn't even realize people cared about this part.
The thing, as a game developer, something that one of my core kind of beliefs is the most important feedback is very rarely verbal. In that the something that I care way more about is how they play the game and like what they find fun, what they don't find fun. Like the crushing cubes, we had no idea that people would get such a kick out of that. But in terms of feedback, that because often they'll just say like, oh, what if it was like online multiplayer? And I was like, cool, do you want to make that? Because I don't. I don't have the time, bud. It's a cool idea, but I don't know. A lot of people ask for a jump. A lot of people say, why can't I jump?
And I think when people say that, you've probably seen that picture. I would be very surprised if you weren't shown it of what the client says they want versus what the client actually wants versus how the engineer implements it. And when you have a lot of people saying the same thing, there is something there, but you have to sort of work out what is it they're actually asking for, and not necessarily them wanting a jump button.
You're exactly right. It's in the world of short form content, we are constantly competing with Instagram Reels and TikTok and YouTube Shorts. We want you to play our game rather than just sit there on your phone. And something that I think may be a product of that, although it may just be me reading into it, is that people expect it to be fun, like very fun instantly. And Cube, at least at the start, is a little bit of a slow burn. It's like, oh, there's more. We try to like very gradually kind of pull you in, because of the like calm ASMR vibe we're going for. Like you can't really smack them in the face with it.
Right.
So I think exactly in the way that you're talking about, in that like you need to get to like what they mean rather than what they want. A lot of those sorts of like, have you thought about adding X? Are from a place of either it's just a cool idea that they've thought of based on the current systems,
Sure.
or they want a bit more a bit sooner, which is very understandable. There's not been very many. It shows that like there's not been that much verbal feedback that I've really taken on board that much. It's been I've really, the things that I take away from cons the most are like who enjoys it, which is thankfully most people that play it. It's very, very interesting where people stop. Of course, there are other factors like, oh, my family's been waiting a while and I like my brother's eating someone, we should move on. But yeah, it's fascinating to me when someone on their own just like randomly puts down the controller, and I'm like, no, the one that was very fascinating to me is people. There's one spot near the end, just before you get the last set of crystals to open the last pressure plate. A bunch of people stopped like before you do that set of crystals, and I was like, you are like 20 seconds away from finishing it. Just do it. Yeah. It's something that I do in my teaching a lot is actual proper playtesting is really hard. And by proper playtesting, I mean shutting up and watching someone play the game without giving them direction.
Yeah, that is something I did find quite a bit. And I get why people have done it if they haven't built a tutorial yet.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like,
but if you have and people are not understanding the game, like that is a problem with the tutorial system you've built, and you're not going to be there to handhold them when they're playing the game themselves.
Exactly. So the way that I phrase it to my students is play it how it's going to be, which is if the thing that really annoys me with my students is when they play it, when they do playtesting in the Unity editor rather than making a build. Because like what they'll do is they'll play it in the Unity editor and then they'll like make changes. So they'll like move the player around to reset stuff, and they'll like do sort of, no, you won't be there to do that when they buy it on Steam, theoretically. So like do a build and then like stand behind them and watch them without saying anything.
Right.
So yeah, and that's one of the great benefits of Cube is that it's because of its intuitiveness. We can like save our voices a lot. Like I rarely tell people what the game is. So people that's actually something, that's a good point. People will ask me what's the point? Like so like, or like how do I play, or like what do I do? And I just say Cube and give them a controller. And it's like, I don't know. Find out. That's the whole point. Which is something, I don't know, it's just maybe it's the setting, like it's a con, like maybe I'm probably supposed to be like selling it to them, but I've just found that fascinating. Just like people expect to be told how to have fun with the thing sometimes.
No, that's definitely a good point. A lot of people don't really know how to give themselves to a game, right? Like a game, like people talk about, oh, this game isn't engaging, this game isn't fun. But then you look at the way they're playing the game, and they've got like a Twitch stream open on the side, and they're listening to music. My house, oh my god, he's probably gonna hear this. I've told him about it so many times. So when I watch him, I'll occasionally walk by. He's playing, I don't know, Elden Ring or something. He's got. Sure. I don't know how he does this. It would drive me insane. He's got one Twitch stream open on one monitor, another Twitch stream open on the same monitor.
Two Twitch streams.
Yes, and then sometimes music playing as well. I don't know how he doesn't go insane hearing this.
That's nuts. That would drive me insane. I can't handle like two voices talking to me at a time, much less two Twitch streams. Two like different music like songs at the same time drives me nuts.
Yeah.
That's yeah, so that's you're exactly right. You're speaking to the context of the current like home play space, and it tends to be a crowded space. Like you're competing with everyone has a phone. 90% of people have a short form content app on their phone. That's pretty stiff competition. And so, like, something that we are constantly keeping in mind is when we structure the levels, keeping what I like to call the serrated edge of engagement, which is you want it to be like easy, hard, and then like a sort of like jagged edge that goes towards like more exciting and engaging.
Right.
But like isn't just like you want to constantly be doing things that they don't expect and then being like expected, unexpected, expected, unexpected. I played the new Donkey Kong, but apparently they do that a lot in there, that sort of thing.
So you sort of want to, when you introduce a new mechanic, correct me if I'm wrong here, but you would introduce a new mechanic, and then you want the player to get used to that, and then use that in some new way, maybe.
Exactly. So it's giving them something new just as they settle into what they've already learned. So something that Dan did, which I thought was really clever, which is the like the second carryable puzzle is there's like as soon as you're confident with one, he gives you another one, and you have to like use both to beat that puzzle. It's something that he does really well that I am nowhere near good enough to do, but it's very tricky.
Yeah, I can definitely imagine so. Puzzle design seems like one of those things where it's I don't know, a challenge maybe is maybe not the right word to say, but definitely
it's hard.
I would assume you said Dan's the one doing level design, yeah?
Dan's the one, but like I if he's the writer, I'm the editor.
Right.
So
okay.
It's
So do you both have quite a bit of experience with puzzle games then?
Yeah. We're both big puzzle fans, and it's the way that we approach it is like, what are we trying to teach? So, like, with that first carryable puzzle, we're teaching you that you can use it to traverse 2 high walls, and then that is the same puzzle, kind of again in the second one, but we're teaching you that you can like make it so that you can build paths with carryables, and it's a very easy way to do puzzles when you're just like, okay, this is the thing that you can do with this mechanic. How do I teach them that they can do that?
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I would assume that later on you would want to use multiple of these mechanics in the same puzzle, but you know the demo's quite short right now, so
yeah. That's the secret sauce that we haven't added just yet, which is like mechanic A in isolation, mechanic B in isolation, A, B.
Right, so each of these mechanic introductions are kind of like the mechanic tutorial, and then you would want to integrate that with the knowledge you already have and expand upon that.
Exactly. Yeah. It's something that I'm really looking forward to doing once we've like filled out the mechanic library a bit more. Is like pulling things together and seeing how those things interact, and like building a matrix of like what works with what in which way.
Right.
And that sort of thing.
Right, because I could very easily imagine some of the mechanics would be weird and confusing if they were merged together.
Yeah. We've got most of the stuff down, but like because we haven't made it yet, the like exact specifics, some of the specifics are yet to be ironed out, and we're very keen to do that.
Do you have like, even if they're just like paper demos of how you want some of these mechanics to work?
Sort of. Not so much paper demos, we just kind of talk them out. And like the way that, because we're both designers, we're very much like documentation focused. And so I feel like if you can explain it, that's 90% of the work. Sometimes just like figuring out specifically how a thing should work. Once you've done that, they become quite easy to program a lot of the time. But yeah.
So you did bring this up before we got started. I kind of do want to talk about it. The idea, the name. The name is
The name. The name.
And honestly, while we're at it,
Damn.
R&D department is another name, right? I know it's funny, but like I look up R&D department, it's a nightmare to find.
Well, thankfully, we have a little bit of SEO there in that it's called, it's spelt with an N instead of an ampersand.
Sure, but people
which is
do.
like, yeah, you're not wrong. Look, I do need to get my charging cable because my laptop's going to die. But when I get back,
easy.
We will talk cube names because it's stupid. I'm going to say one to leave you with. Grom is a serious name that we've talked about.
Right.
It's very official and professional here at the R&D department.
You are the second person I've had in a week who just decided to not plug their laptop in.
Was it Jacob? I bet Jacob was the other guy. I saw him getting his thing the other day. No.
I don't remember who it was actually.
That's fine. So the name.
Grom was one of them you suggested.
Grom is one of them. It's on the list. It's not seriously on the list, but it's on the list.
Okay.
That's right. Okay. So Cube has terrible SEO. Terrible.
Well, yeah,
when you Google Cube,
as I said, there's literally another game called Cube.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. There is
The Cube. And
there is The Cube, which is coming out soon. Yeah.
And on Crazy Games, Cube's 2048. It's a bit different, but still, you'd probably SEO that as well. And there's also a thing called a Rubik's Cube, which is a problem.
Yeah, there is. I could probably get your 2 cents on some of these ideas, actually, because we're still very much like open-minded to ideas and stuff. The first one I have on my list is because it's like a GUI cube, so it's Cube. I don't like Cube. It's terrible.
It feels a bit weird.
Our current leading favorite actually at the moment is Toya.
Toya.
Okay.
What's the deal with that one?
It's got good mouthfeel, basically. It's just like we've been like I made a little ChatGPT agent to just like spit out 4-letter new word combinations.
So would that be I would assume Toya?
Correct. Which is a great sign because you've spelt it correctly. Mm-hmm. And so if I told you the game was called Toya, you would Google it correctly. The other ones, like it doesn't really have meaning. In Japanese, it means some things like valley after a mountain, and one other thing. Like there's a bunch of Japanese fictional characters named Toya. Mm-hmm. Like I think there's a My Hero Academia character called Toya. Mm-hmm. Some other names that we've thrown around are like Cubey with a Y, which I don't hate.
It feels more like one of those. It feels like the cube needs eyes and like.
That is what everybody says. It needs eyes and it needs to go when you fall on its face.
Yeah.
So it's a different game. That's the problem that we've run into a lot with these, like trying to find another name. Is just the names that we've come up with are a different game. Cubiquitous. It's not a real one. Some of these are very silly. I quite like Cubed Up. Cubed Up, I think, is quite fun.
Okay, I can see that.
Or Cubing Up. It's kind of only up-ish.
Maybe my brain is just too cooked. When I hear Cubed Up, I think Bricked Up.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the sort of feel you want to go for.
Well, maybe. It's like, this is the problem. When we play around with this too much, we're at risk of going back to Cube Daddy, which is, we're not calling it Cube Daddy.
Maybe avoid that one, yeah.
Yeah. Cubelet? I don't mind Cubelet.
Cubelet I can see, yeah.
Yeah. Because it implies like it's small. It's a smaller part of a whole. I'd written off Cubelet a bit. I might add that back up there. A humble cube.
It feels like you need a story mode, like a.
Yep. It feels it. You're on it, man. That's exactly what Dan said. He said it felt like a children's bedtime story. Like a fictional story. Simply Cubey. again, that sort of falls into that like mascot trap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are the kind of front runners. I think I might add Cubelet back to the list. I like Cubelet a lot.
Yeah, that or Toya. I do think think you're onto something with that. It's like not. I know it immediately reminds me, as you said, one of the inspirations, Fez, things like that, where it's just a very simple name. Where Fez does actually mean something. If people want to go find it out, they can. But to most people, it doesn't, and it's just it's just a thing that points directly to that, and there's something. I don't know. There's something about Toya which gives like a. It's like, what is this? It's like a wonder, sort of like...
Yeah. The unknownness is sort of a part of it. Because we want people to try and figure out it. There was another meaning of Toya that I liked. That I've just forgotten. Yeah, door into the valley in Japanese, which I quite like. Yeah, so that's our current problem. That's kind of the only thing stopping us from getting the Steam page up.
Right. Yeah, because you have the itch page right now.
We do have an itch page, which we've been using to like distribute. But like, yes, I was speaking with a mate of mine the other day that was like challenging me on why we were going to change the name. And I was like, because it's got terrible SEO. And it does, but the marketplaces in which we're competing on, there's not that many Cube games. Like itch.io is fantastic. It's a fantastic thing, and I'm glad it exists, but that's not where we're looking to make the majority of our sales.
Sure.
Like on Steam, for example, I'm fairly confident we could cut through that market. I think there's like 5 or 6 Cube games, none of which have our visual style.
Yeah, we have one called Cube, another one called Cube, all capitalized. Then there's Cube with a capital C but lowercase for the rest of it.
Correct.
What else?
There's also every possible variation with different letters that you can think of.
Also,
like Q, capital, like the letter Q and then B.
Cube Game, which has a logo that is very like the GameCube logo. I'm sure that's not skirting too close to anything.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of games that have Cube in their name, but not necessarily just being Cube.
Yes, there are. Oh my god, yeah. We do want to do something like a joke about the 64, not the GameCube intro. Doodle 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 doodle, boom, and do a cube up there. I think that'll be fun.
Even if it's something you put like... It's like one of those things that could be missed. It's like a little Easter egg if you do a thing down a certain path.
Yeah. The way that I had planned to do it is that like it plays a note when you do it in the correct way, and then like if it doesn't do it, it like resets. And so like people who don't know about it could still figure it out.
Yep.
So make it like an intentional part of the level.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I'm just gonna try Cubelet because I haven't. Yeah, Cubelet's not taken in either kind of spelling that we've thought of. I might do Cubelet.
But on this friend who was sort of questioning you on changing the name.
Yes.
What was their argument for not changing it?
The argument that he had for not changing it was it suits the game. So just be the best Cube game.
That's fair.
It's fair. Which I think is not ridiculous. It's just... I don't know. It's something that we're going to debate for a little bit longer before we have to make a decision.
Right.
There is literally one called Cheese Cube. Sometimes because like from that vertical slice, there are sections of the level where Dan didn't have the random rotation ticked, so you get the same cube with the chunks taken out of it over and over, and it looks a bit like cheese. particularly if they're yellow.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm just gonna grab my water bottle.
All
But
good,
yes, we're actively thinking about the name.
Yeah, I do. I do understand why you'd want to change it like that. I see what your friend was saying about not changing it,
Yes,
but
I'm 50-50. I think
yeah,
at the moment it's like Cube all caps with a full stop,
mhm,
Toya or Cubelet. I think those are.
yeah. At the
I
same
think those
time,
are.
it's like, yes, you could try to win that battle, but is that worth trying to deal with? Like, is it?
Totally, it's fighting upstream.
Yeah, it's like it. Yes, you can. I look from what I can see. I've not looked at all of them, but yeah, you've got like a very polished cube game here. Like I could very well see that being something that is done, but at the same time, it's just it creates unnecessary tension to get eyes onto the project, and
Totally.
And even when, let's just say it does become the best Q game, it's always gonna be a problem. There's always gonna be like, oh wait, I tried to find it. It was this other game I landed on, or somebody else has talked about a cube game in the past, or anything else like that. And it's just
where we'd be constantly fighting that.
Yeah.
I'm getting quite warm on Cubelet, frankly.
Okay.
I'm gonna message Dan later and be like, should we reconsider Cubelet? You might have played an integral role. You never know.
I like both. Toya and Cubelet are both really, really good options. If I saw either name, it wouldn't bother me. It's not one.
And like that's the thing. That's really the bar we're aiming for.
Right.
It's just like not bad.
Yeah, and also you kind of have to decide on something, right? Like at the end of the day, it is just the name, and yes, that's just the name. That is important. It is certainly the identity of the game. But it's also not the only thing that you need to think about.
Like what the one that just pops into my head is Tunic. Like, yes, it's like very iconic, but Tunic, I'm sure, is one of many names for that game. Like, it's not called a game where you can't read the manual.
Right.
It's just a word, and it's a great game, and people know about it because it's a great game.
Right. And hey, look, you could go the complete other direction with it and give it like an anime title, a game where you roll around the world as a cube and pick up other cubes. You could.
Another one that was quite funny that I didn't mention was Cubes All the Way Down, which I think is quite good. I think there's also Not Just Another Cube Game, which I think is too cute. It's a bit shitty.
Yeah, that feels like it feels like a joke that's been kind of overdone.
It does exactly. It feels Cubious. I'm back on the silly ones. Cubious is quite fun. It's like Curious and Cube. But yeah.
Yeah. Cubious.
Cubing up into the Cubiverse. Oh, there's another one I like. Cube Gets Bigger. I think Cube Gets Bigger is quite cute.
Okay.
But yes, those are our current. Other than Screen Oz and like some client work, that's my current dragon. It's this damn name. I should really memorize who said this quote, but he said that there are two hard things in life: rocket science and naming things. And rocket science isn't that hard. It's something like that.
Yeah, and this is why whenever I go look at some project, I look at the name like, the software engineer named this, because it'll be like, it's the software updater, and the name is like SWP UP or something. It's like, yeah, okay,
Yep.
And it works, right? Like,
it does work. It does work. And at the end of the day, there's always Cube Daddy.
Yeah.
If it all goes to shit.
Maybe not. No, I think anything you could go with is probably going to be better than Cube Daddy.
Probably, particularly because we want kids to buy it.
How did that name happen? Was it just a name that existed?
I've probed down on this a few times. I think it's because like it's sort of like a funny game dev term because it's like it's parenting. The cube's getting parented to the bigger cube, so it's Cube Daddy.
Okay, that's stupid, but I see the logic now.
Yes, it is stupid. We've got a little nod to that even in the Discord, in that my title is like Cube Uncle because I'm an uncle, and Dan's Cube Dad. But yeah, it's very silly.
Yeah, no, but no, it is silly, but I think there's some of that does sort of come across in the game itself, like going back to what we talked about earlier with like the cube squishing. It's just like little things, like it being a gelatinous cube, right? Like the game would work just as well if it was a solid cube, like gameplay wise, mechanic wise, but there's something about it being this gelatinous cube that makes it feel a bit more appealing. It does allow you to play around with like how it looks a bit more, like as you interact with things.
Absolutely. And originally it was just a cube. And Dan changed it to the like rounded beveled cube a couple months ago, or several months ago now. And originally I didn't like it because in my like the thing that affected my work was that when the cube rolled up a step, there'd be a little bit where you could see that the cube wasn't exactly touching the ledge because of the beveled corner. But now that it's been that way for a while, I can't go back. I love the little beveled guy. And it works so much better with like like you said, like the gelatinousness and the splats and
yeah, we'll go with that.
Yes.
So, what have we not talked about? We're coming up to the end, like 10 or so minutes. But
easy.
Well, is there something that we haven't really touched on that you think is kind of important?
Well, I was going to bring up price point actually.
Okay.
That's my next thing. We're thinking $5 on Steam. That was going to be my price point. It's been something that I've been like, a mentor of mine got me to just like say a price because I'd been umming and ahhing about it forever. And I threw out like $30 and he was like, wrong. And I was like, yeah, you're right. And since then I've been thinking about it a lot. And something that absolute best case scenario is we get odd screen funding as well as a publisher, and the publisher can handle getting it onto like mobile and Switch for us. If we were to do that, I would love to launch in Q4 on Android, iOS, Switch, and PC, $5 Aussie, simultaneously. That's my like best case scenario. I kind of want to lowball it and like go quite cheap, because I've in talking with lots of people, we've noticed something in that there's sort of like a bit of a Bermuda Triangle between $10 and $30. It's like a little bit, particularly at the moment where everyone's a bit strapped for cash.
Right.
Like, yes, people are buying expensive games because they're expecting super high quality, like Mario Kart and Donkey Kong have both sold like crazy. But in that weird, like, not a lot, not heaps range, it's easy to get lost. So I'm quite keen to go like sub 10 and probably sub 5, like around 5.
Right, because when you're in that like $10 to $30 space, you're also competing with like older games that go on sale.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're also competing with Hollow Knight and Celeste and Balatro and
what is Hollow Knight going for? I actually don't know what that is. Let's find out.
I think full price it's like 25 Aussie. but it's like always on sale for like 15, 10.
21.95 right now.
Which is insane.
What a weird
There's
price.
so much content in that game for $20.
Mm-hmm.
And like obviously partially some of that's due to post-release stuff.
Sure.
But like I would feel horrendous asking for more money than Hollow Knight.
Yeah. And Celeste right now is $29.50.
Yeah.
What was another one you gave an example of?
Balatro.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
And that is $19.75.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, it's on sale. It's $21.95 at full price.
Yeah. So like, those are outstanding games.
Right.
And this is another one of the reasons why we want to publish it, is because they know way more about it than I do. And I've got some contacts that we would, if we didn't get a publisher, I would consult endlessly about this before we put it up. But just my initial thought is $5.
Right. I've got Vampire Survivors open right now. That is $7.49 right now.
Yeah, exactly. And Vampire Survivors is an insanely good game for that price point as well.
Yeah. That came in when it first released in 2022.
Yeah, it's an old game. I remember seeing that for the first time, being like, "What is this?" And it's such a gem. I made it's AIE a little project called Chess Survivor. That's you play as like a pawn, and you like take pieces, and you move around on a grid, and like the enemies move in between your turns, and you can like unlock moves and then upgrade those moves with like additional abilities. I want to go back to Chess Survivor, man. It's a great game.
That does sound like a really cool concept, actually.
Little project, but yeah, it's a bit of fun.
I could definitely see something like that. Like that's a cool concept, and
thanks, man.
It's clear that everything from you've said about Dan, I haven't met him yet, so I can't really say it, but like I'm assuming everything, like both of you clearly seem to have a lot of ideas for game development and game design. It's
yeah.
Like I'll like not to like trash anyone in particular, but like I've spoken to people in the past where they have an idea for the game, but they're not really sure about the idea. They don't really know how to sort of talk about the game. It feels like they're not really confident in the idea they have.
Oh yeah, that's never a good sign.
Yeah.
It's an interesting thing. We're both like deliberately enrolled in like the design course at AIE. And like when people ask me, do you regret doing design? I say no, because I met Dan. But like if like the smarter choice for me would have been to do programming, because programming is 90% of what I do these days. But I quite like being a designer who programs out of necessity. That and in the way that Dan is a designer that is a technical artist out of necessity and like makes shaders and stuff. It's very, very nice that it's where we're designers kind of first and foremost, and then we do other stuff so that the games exist.
Right.
So we're not just talking about a thing.
Right. Like going back to what was said about Celeste before, like Celeste is very obviously a game where it's made by artists, it's made by people who have animation backgrounds, and the coding is kind of just there to pull it all together. I think another great example is Toby Fox.
I knew you were going to say that.
Undertale is garbage. It is a horrendous.
Everyone goes back to that dialogue.
One of the worst programmed games you will ever see.
Ever.
It's why.
It doesn't matter.
It's why the game is a nightmare to port.
Yeah, I bet.
But it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Not one bit. And it's just it all comes back to the game. Like with this Screen Oz stuff, there's a part of me that just like, stuff this. Just make the game. I'm wasting so much time doing all these documents and stuff. I would so much rather just be making the game. But that's what game dev is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're very lucky to have these roles at AIE now, so that we can like semi support ourselves, and like plus the client work that we do, we are able to like sort of be game devs, which is crazy in this current age. It's been such a like insane turnaround for me, because I was working in hospitality in 2022. I just moved back to Adelaide from Melbourne after flunking out of a computer science degree at Uni Melb. And yeah, it's been an insane journey.
Do you have plans to show off the game? I know you already said the con coming up, but do you have plans to do Sage next year and AvCon next year?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We've got the full like crazy lineup happening, in that I'm taking it to Gamescom in August, which is crazy. SAFC, South Australian Film Corp, are doing some like sponsored tickets. I was very lucky I probably shouldn't talk about this, but I'm very lucky to get one of those.
If you need me to cut this, I'm happy to cut it.
That might be good, actually, because the announcement hasn't come out yet.
Okay.
But we are also doing PAX and South by Southwest this year, which is fantastic. Very much looking forward to those. And then, yes, we'll definitely take it to Sage next year. We want to be on the main floor this time instead of the Elevate section. We're a real boy now.
I didn't go this year. I really should have.
It's a great gig. I love it.
I was going to go the year prior, and then the same problem happened where I forgot it was happening, and then the day or the week after, I was like, oh yeah, that's a thing.
Oh yeah, that's on. SAFC are great in lots of ways. I dislike how little press they do within even the Adelaide scene. Like, it should be massive, and then like it's getting bigger and bigger, and it like the more it becomes a thing, the more people will know about it. But like, I don't know, I'm always wanting it to be more selfishly.
Well, I'm sure we could just keep going and going, but
we
probably should end this off. This has been a lot of fun. I really did.
I'm so glad.
I really do enjoy talking to people who are like very passionate about what they're doing and clearly have a vision for what they want it to be. And I wish the best for you and for Dan, and hopefully the project goes well, and hopefully you can decide on a name.
On a name. I'll let you know when we get a name, and hopefully we can find a time to get Dan on. But like, yeah. It's thank you.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of work ahead of us, but we're really excited to do it.
So since there's no Steam page just yet, if anyone wants to keep an eye on the game,
itch.io is the best place. Also on the link tree, there's a mailing list that currently has 2 people signed up to it, myself and one guy that we got at AvCon.
Okay.
But like, following the itch page is probably the best place to go if you have an itch.io account. Also, please join the Discord if you want to see my insane ramblings on the devlog channel. It's mostly just me tearing my hair out and then being like, never mind, I'm goated.
Perfect.
So that's programming, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've also got all the other socials as well, but like, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
Thanks for having me on.
Nothing else you want to mention? That's pretty much everything.
No, that's it.
Okay, cool. My main channel is Brody Robertson. I do Linux videos there 6-ish days a week. I sometimes stream there as well, so check that out if you want to see rambling. I've got the gaming channel that is Brody on Games. I stream twice a week. Right now, I'll be playing through Kazan the First Berserker and probably maybe finish Split Fiction by now. I don't know. We'll see. And
both good games, I've heard.
Very much so. And after I finish Split Fiction, I'll probably be playing Metal Gear Solid, because I've never played Metal Gear Solid. I don't know why.
One of my students keeps going on about Delta and says I should play some stuff to get ready for Delta. Cool. Oh well.
You got a game to work on.
Yeah, I do.
And for anyone who wants to hear the audio version of this, it is available on every podcast platform. There is an RSS feed. It's on Spotify. Spotify has video, which is neat. If you don't want to do Spotify video, there is YouTube. That is Tech Over Tea. And yeah. So, I'll give you the final word. What do you want to say?
Cube.
Perfect.